Currently, our data binding is working pretty well for our player, even across scenes, but it doesn't work for anything inside of our levels, like these coins. You can see again, I can pick up coins, of course, save and reload and come back and the coins are there and keep picking them up. So we're going to want to be able to persist things for each level. And to do that, we're going to add in a new data structure. Let's go into our game manager and then find our game data. Go find game data, we'll control left click on it, and in here we're going to add in a new structure that's going to handle all of the data for a single level. We'll call this level data, and then we'll fill it up with the different types of things that we have in the levels. Remember, our player data is a little bit different because our player goes across levels, and we're also going to have another type of thing that's a little bit different from our level data for items because they'll be able to move across levels, but a lot of things stay in a single level, and we should be able to handle those pretty easily with a level data. So we're going to add a public list of level data named level datas, and we'll initialize that to a new list of level datas just like that. We'll need to generate a class for level data, so I'll hit Alt Enter and let's do it in this file. I'm going to copy that serializable attribute and add it up here. We're going to need a couple of properties. First, a level name seems like an important one so that we can bind the level data specifically for a level. We know when we load level 1, we know which level data to use, so we'll add that level name field. And then I know I want to store the state of coins, so let's put in a public list of coin data named coin datas. And again, we'll initialize that to a new list and then generate a type. So we'll hit generate type, and we're going to do it in the same file. Come down here, one more level. We'll copy that serializable attribute again, paste it in here. And now for a coin, what do we really want to keep track of? I don't want them moving around. I don't want them really changing anything other than their kind of is collected or is enabled state. So I'm just going to add in a bool, a public bool is collected, and then we'll save. Now, inside of our coin, we're going to bind up to one of these coin datas from our game data, and then we'll just toggle that field on whenever our object gets collected. So let's add in a bind method, public void bind, that'll allow us to bind to a coin data. And we'll figure out where we're going to get that from in just a moment. We'll name the parameter data, and we'll just say underscore data equals, whoops, it auto completed the wrong thing, equals data. We'll generate a field for it, and now we've got a coin data that we can use. We'll delete that private keyword, and down here, when we add a point, before we even add a point, let's just say data dot is collected is equal to true. So now we've got something that we can set in here, but we don't have this bind method being called. We need to figure out where that's going to happen. And my recommendation where I would put it is right here after we've loaded our scene. Once we load our scene, before we go through and restore our player position and all of that stuff, let's restore all of our coins or bind up all of our coin data. I'm going to add in some new lines right here and just give myself a little space on line 52. And I'm going to call a method. Let's call this bind coins. It seems good enough. We'll generate a method for it. And then in this bind coins method, we'll find all of our coins. So say var all coins equals, and we'll just do a find objects of type. I want to make sure I do the of type. Don't have to add in extra parameters. And we'll find all of the coin objects. Then we'll loop through each coin in all coins. So for each var coin in all coins. And then we're going to bind each coin to its data. So we want to call coin.bind, but we're going to need some data. So let's get a data parameter up above. Let's say var coin data, or just call it data, equals, and we need to get something from our game data's level data. So we're going to have to say underscore game data dot level datas, and we're going to need to know which level we're currently in. So here we're going to have to find the correct level data. And since we're going to do that multiple times, why don't we do that one level up and pass it in here? So let's assume we have a level data. And then we'll get the data from our level datas, level data.coin datas, and we'll do a first or default. And we're going to match the coin data to our coin's name. So I'll say t dot, and we want to use our name equals, and then we're going to use this dot name or just name. So we're going to, or not this. Whoops, what am I saying here? We got, coin dot name. There we go. Get our coin object. Now our coin data doesn't have a name property, and that's what we're going to use to match it up. So instead of having these all be indexed, which we could do, or having a unique key or a unique ID, one of the easiest things to do, and one of kind of the cleanest things until you get to a very large scale, is to just give them a unique name. And we'll do some editor tooling to enforce this and link them back to prefabs later. But for now, we're just going to generate a field. We'll generate a field called name on our coin data. Let's go take a look at it. So we've got a field here. Let's make that public instead of internal. And then now that we've got our data, we'll bind it up. Now, if we don't have a data for it, so if the data is null, so if data is equal to null, maybe we've added a new coin to the game or we've just never loaded before, then we're just going to instantiate it. We'll say data equals new coin data. And then we're going to give it our is collected is equal to false. And our name is equal to the coin's name. We'll save that off, hit Control K, Control D to clean up our reference or our formatting. And then finally, we need to call bind coins and pass in that level data. We have our bind coins call, but we don't have the current level data. So let's get our current level data one level up here. Say var level data equals, and we're going to get our game data dot level data dot first or default. Just like before, we're going to check the t.name or level name against our arg name, so the level that we've loaded. Remember, scene 0 or arg 0 is the scene that we've loaded into, so we're going to find the level data for the one that we've loaded into. If that doesn't exist, just like before, we'll create it. We'll say level data equals new level data, and we actually need to make sure we add these to the list. The level name is going to be equal to arg0, and then we'll bind to that level data. Now, we need to do two more things here. We need to add these level datas that we're creating, or this new one, to that level datas array, and we need to add the coin data that we've created to the coin datas array. And I said array, but I mean list in both of these cases. So let's add in some braces here. Oh, not just an open, but the close down below. And we'll say underscore game data dot level datas. It was going to auto do it for me. Dot add, there we go, level data. And down here in our coin datas, we'll do the same. When we create a new data object, we need to make sure that we add it to our list. So say level data dot coin datas dot add data build, and fix my typo here. This should be equals null, not equals null. We don't want to create a new one if it exists. Once that's good, we should be able to jump into Unity. And then when we hit play, we should expect to see a new level data get created along with a coin data for all, what do we have, 16 coins. So we've got a level datas object. Underneath there, we've got all of the coins, all 16 of them, and we can see that none of them are collected. Let's go collect one and see if the state changes real quick. So we'll run over here. We'll go grab some coins. It looks like one of them changed. There we go. That other one changed. Now they're all collected, and we can save and reload. But the reloading doesn't do anything yet. The state is still correct. It's got that they're collected, but we're not restoring them to a collected state. So let's make that final change. So back in our coins bind method, here we've got a slightly different scenario than the player, where we have to worry about our player updating and moving and doing other things during the loading system. And in there, we don't really want to adjust the player's position or move them, or at least I don't. But for our coin, we can restore its enabled state. So when we bind, we've got the data in its correct state already. And we need to say if underscore data dot is collected, then we'll just set our game object to inactive. So say game object dot set active to false. Now, if we go back into Unity and we reload our existing game, we should expect to see that the coins have disappeared. So we'll press play. Actually, I won't be able to reload the past game because our game level name won't match with our previous one. But if I go into here and I just find our game name and put in game 6 and then hit reload, I got to tab out of that field and make sure that it saves my changeover. Hit reload. Okay, that didn't work. Let's just jump over, go into level 1, grab those coins. Here, we'll do a save and a load. I'm not sure what the state of game 6 was. I may have messed it up in between. All right, so I go grab all my coins except for that one. We'll do a save and a reload, and we come back, and there's just that one coin. I go grab that last coin and reload, come back, and the coin is still there because I didn't save. And if I get it again and then do a save and a reload, of course, the data comes back correct. And this is what we want to happen going forward. Although we're going to want to make this a little bit more generic so that we can write even less code for all of the other things that we want to persist. For now, though, let's go into Plastic and commit our level and coin data are persisting and coins properly restore. And we'll check that in.